Welcome to Schein Chats. I'm Samantha Glucksman, Strategic Business Manager with Henry Schein Special Markets. We're here today at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas at our annual DSO Education Forum. I have the privilege today to be with Justin Puckett, MB2 Dental Solutions President. Justin, would you mind introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about MB2 and what makes you guys unique?
Yeah, we are a DSO based in Dallas, Texas, and we've been around for about 10 years. We were founded by Dr. Chris Villanueva, just with the whole mindset of taking a DSO and merging the best things that he had found in private practice with the benefits of corporate practice. And so we employ a joint venture model. And so each of our locations, and we're up to almost 100 locations, has the local dentist owns, operates, it's his own brand. We kind of call it's a DSO within a DSO. So it's a lot of autonomy, not obviously clinical, but also professional and business. They get to run their brand. We are very kind of model agnostic, and I mean that in the sense of we have fee-for-service practices, we have practices that take government subsidy, we have specialty practices, kind of scan the whole gamut, and it's a young group. We've scaled fast and really believe in the partnership model, and it's been a fun ride so far.
Great. I've heard Dr. V say DPO.
Yes, Dental Partnership Organization, which we feel that kind of describes us a little more. I think even the ADA called us a hybrid, and so it's just something different. I think that's what I love about the industry. And I'm sure we'll get into that, but there's so many successful models, and they all work. That's why you have 600 people at this conference today. But ours is, it's a DPO. It's a true partnership model, and that we believe there's not a right way or a wrong way to do dentistry. It's very market-based, provider-based, and we believe that freedom, if you give them freedom, oftentimes it works out for a better staff experience, better patient experience, and a better owner experience for our doctor owners.
Right, and you shared as well with me in the past that you look for the partner, not the location, which is something I hadn't heard before, because in the DSO marketplace, most organizations have very specific metrics that they look for in a location versus your partner focus.
People always ask that, right? I mean, everyone hires Buxton and say you should go to Main and Main at this city because of demographics and insurance numbers. But we always say we back doctors, not locations. And so, we're based in Dallas and we have an office in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Right. Yeah.
Business sense wise, does that make the most operational sense? Of course not. But in us, we have a phenomenal doctor partner there, and that is why we're there. And so people always ask, well, are you going to Colorado, California, Tennessee, make it up? And our answer is always yes, when we find the right partner. And so it's results. Again, we want someone in that community who believes in that community, knows their patients, lives every day with their patients, and that's just kind of our mindset.
Yeah. So when we talk about your growth and your quick trajectory over just the last couple of years, we like to highlight the good in that, but give us the skinny on some of the challenges that you experienced and maybe specific stages where you were wondering how you were going to work through the next transition.
Yeah, it's been, I always tell everyone, if anyone talks about how easy and it's all unicorns and rainbows, it's a lie. We've had many bumps in the road. That's why we love events like this to share. We always say, whether you're one office or your Heartland, who's approaching 1,000, we love communication and dialogue. We're an open book. We share everything with everybody because we want to learn mistakes. I think, for us, and like when Dr. V was founding it, it was about we always say the 5 to 7 mark of the offices was tough, because at that point, the doctor entrepreneur is replacing himself. Like you can't be working chairside. Most oftentimes they're the best producers. They're the best clinicians, and so, but they're also the IT manager, the HR manager. They're paying the bills. They're meeting with marketing, and so that's when you have to make the decision of what is your first hire. Who will you hire? Is it the finance guy? Is it the marketing guy? And so for us, that was the first big hurdle, and then we got to about office 40, and that's when we hit the kind of inflection point of looking around, going, "Oh my gosh, we actually have a business, and holy cow, we have a bunch of great doctors. What do we do next?" And that was the point where all the doctors got together and said, what do we want to do with this? Do you want to keep growing a little bit, or do we want to kind of hire some higher caliber talent, which is tough for the owners because, be very clear, that's dipping into their pockets, and it's always that question of everyone chases EBITDA. It's the magic word everyone hears here, but
it's a shift in control. It's a shift in relying on others to do your job just as good or better.
Yeah, and I think
being okay with that.
And in our model, we wake up every day having to prove and wanting to prove to our owners, right? So we always say we have 45 owners. I have 45 bosses, and that's, you know,
right. You owe it to them.
I do.
To
and
fulfill
then
what you.
If we do that correctly, it flows down to the patients. And so that's how we view it.
So are there two mistakes that you could pinpoint that you'd want, while we're here at the Education Forum, we've got groups of all different sizes here. If there were two things that you could share in your history? Yeah,
I think, and it's ironic because I'm a lawyer given in my trade, but we, structuring it right up front, just because when MB2 was founded, it was no idea. We didn't know it. There's no DSO. We never heard of that. It was, let's have a couple practices together. But because we did not structure it properly up front, it made for some bumps in the road with financing, taking on additional partners, and we just never saw that.
And it was costly too, more costly after the fact.
Tenfold.
To figure out what the
took twice as long and costed 10 times as much. And I think the other one was investing in compliance early. That was something, as you're growing, you're hiring everything, but I think looking back, we would have hired compliance much earlier and focused on, we've always had a compliance team, but we would have focused on things that we didn't even see that were important at that point.
That's a good one. I like the compliance aspect of it. When we're looking at the industry and forecast, everyone has a different opinion of what's next, of the speed of saturation. What's your belief or MB2's belief on what the future of consolidation and group practice will be?
Yeah, I think that's the magic question.
Right.
And I think even within MB2, everyone's going to give you a little different answer. And the blunt truth is no one knows, right? But I do think we're in if you take the baseball analogy, kind of the second round of consolidation, maybe the fourth inning. I do see, it's happening. And so the one thing—
600 people here.
The one thing everyone agrees on is something is happening, and I think that's why we are at a point, I think, in the next 5 years where people are going to have to basically decide, what do you want to do?
Right.
And I think it's 5 years ago it was, is it going to happen? Now it's, how quick is it happening? And I think it's will be sooner than later.
So my last question for you, based on that dialogue, would be for those industry professionals who might have fear and apprehension about some of these changes, what might you say to them to influence that mindset to see something better in the group space? Yeah,
I think that fear and change it's always scary, right? And we had the same thing. We've heard the stories, but I would encourage everyone to, if you look deep in the industry, it is amazing the steps and the strides that this industry has taken on the. You look at the compliance side, the access to care things that never happened. You're seeing DSOs serve patients that have never been seen before. You're seeing, a one-office practice. It's hard to have a compliance team. It's just financially, right? DSOs provide the latest and greatest technology for patient care, and I think, and just going deeper, I think getting in the industry, it's just eye-opening how open everyone is, transparent. Everyone wants to help each other because we know, at the end of the day, we're trying to get people to go to the dentist who don't go. There's no competition. And
you're doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is our goal. And that affects patient lives, and that should be everyone's mission here. And the business aspect and the profits of it, which of course it's important, flow from that once you kind of nail that issue. But it's a great industry. It's why we're all here.
Well, thank you so much, Justin. This has been such a treat. Do you have any questions for me?
I think from the Schein perspective, I would just ask kind of the same question to you, because given your recent change into things, what's kind of been your biggest surprise that you've seen coming into the DSO space, maybe versus some preconceptions that you had?
I think it would be structure, infrastructure of the DSO, that there are some large organizations that have great individuals, but I realize that everybody still needs some work in their infrastructure, in their model, and I was taken back by that initially because I thought I would walk into a well-sophisticated organization, and it's the same at Schein and anywhere else. So that's good for us because Henry Schein as a company has opportunity and solutions to marry with those areas. But that was...
No, I agree with that. We always say, we're like, the misconception that just because you're bigger, you have it figured out. Not true. We have no ego in that. We have so much room to grow, and I think every DSO would say that. So,
thank you again for your time,
Thanks
and thank all of you as viewers for watching, and we'll tune in next time.